Hello again, everyone. Zack Attack is here with my review of the 30th annual WWE Survivor Series for Sunday, November 20th, 2016, taking place from the Air Canada Center, Toronto, Canada. Better than venue. Saw you two there last year. Terrific show and a decent venue. After another fun NXT takeover last night, with a shocking ending with Samoa Joe beating Nakamura, which nobody saw coming, and another fun contest in a tag team title match against Gargano and Ciampa against Revival. Amazing yet again. Survivor Series had a little bit the top. Again, going up against an NXT takeover. Like WrestleMania and SummerSlam before them had to go up against an NXT takeover the night before. And Survivor Series had some potential to be a good pay-per-view. And probably one of the best Big Four. Better than Mania and better than SummerSlam. And a little better than Royal Rumble. And for the most part, Survivor Series to me was an okay show. It could have been a lot better for what it was. It was a decent pay-per-view. The only good parts were the 3 Survivor Series matches. Specifically, the best one being the 5-on-5 men's Survivor Series match, which should have been the main event in my opinion. And women's and tag matches were not bad either. As for the other matches on the main card, the 2 interpromotional title matches ended in shitty, screwy endings. And that main event? Well, that's a Public Enemy saying for ya.
Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype.
Don't believe the hype! All hype for 2 minutes. So, I said this in my SummerSlam review, and I think WWE will once again need to learn some lessons. 1, not all Big Four pay-per-views need to be 4 hours. Royal Rumble does not need to be 4 hours. WrestleMania should be 4 hours. But SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, and Survivor Series should not be 4 hours. Especially when you have the pay-per-view and 30 minutes before it ended. And, oh yeah, you still haven't learned one lesson. And I think you should finally learn it tonight after this. Never let Lesnar main event again! Even if what happened, he was still the main event of a bad little ending. There's a lot of opinions on that main event. You see by the subtitle of this review, there's going to be a lot of discussion about that main event. Good and bad. About tonight's main event. And we'll get to all of that in a second. Despite that, we did have some good moments, especially in that 5-on-5 match. Great action from those 3 matches. But let's start from the very beginning. Kickoff show. Until the show itself, about 5 o'clock, I don't think the pre-show matches were announced. If there was going to be any at all. So I was like, why even watch a 2-hour pre-show before a 4-hour show? 4-hour show. I used to say 4-hour show in the style of Gilligan's Island theme. Now I say 4-hour show in the style of Cena's theme. So I was like, what? Will there be any pre-show matches? Well, they were. Last minute ones. And there was a pre-show match. Basically, since it was a multi-branded pay-per-view, we would have a pre-show match from each brand. The Raw brand would kick off with a cruiserweight match, a 6-man tag, involving the cruiserweight champion, the former champion, should I say, TJ PERKINS, along with NOAM finally debuting, in which one, taking on a team of Drew GULAK, Tony Nese, like his new gimmick with the, it was Nese with the shoulder things. Maybe give yourself a character to get over, because that's what the cruiserweights need, character development and time to develop their characters in good action. 205 Live would deliver it. And also the third member, DAIVARI. DAIVARI. I think these were the pre-show matches of the Raw pay-per-view. Hell in a Cell, now the pre-show of the Survivor Series. With NOAM and TJ PERKINS in, since he's no longer the champion. Despite the watered-down booking of the Cruiserweight division thus far, this was a fun, decent 6-man tag to opened up the show. Good Toronto crowd, especially coming up the last night. And it was a common theme throughout the evening, especially that carried over from NXT. Ty Dillinger lost against Bobby Roode. I hope Dillinger gets over better. So I knew Roode was going to win, but I was sad to see Ty lose again. And every time the referee was counting anybody out, you heard the crowd say, 10! They did that not just at NXT, but also tonight. And well, it carried over to tonight's Survivor Series call, especially some of the crowd were at both shows, at NXT and Survivor Series. So a fun little 6-man tag with Tony Lee's looking really good in this match. Some big moves from him. I think it was like a great suplex from him in the match. It was like really good. TJ Perkins looked pretty good in his first pay-per-view match since losing to Brian. Kind of interesting. He went from being on the main card, I think it was like the second to last match of Hell in a Cell, to being on the pre-show. A 2-hour one at that. Before another 4-hour Big 4 pay-per-view. So it's probably some great offense from everybody. Especially GULAK looking well, DAIVARI carrying some big spine busters. And a big thrust kick to NOAM Dog to get up in the tree of woe. Then with SWANN came with some high-flying moves, some big kicks, some big clotheslines. And all the guys came in with some high-flying moves. PERKINS came in with a big splash of DAIVARI to get the victory after he got back in. Right after TJ Perkins took people out, then SWANN got the big splash to win for his team. After coming with a hot tag 1-2-3 victory for the face Cruiserweights. NOAM Dog with SWANN and the former Cruiserweight champion TJ Perkins. I'll give this one 3.0 because it was a decent opener. To open up the show and the pre-show. And then we got the second pre-show match coming from SmackDown. Luke Harper against Kane. Why this one? And the match was, yeah, okay. You know, it was a typical big guy beatdown match. Because both guys have a little bit more mobility. Well, Kane's a little bit more mobility because he's older. Now, I've always applauded Luke Harper and his agility. He showed it as both guys were trying to top the Cruiserweight match as they did some flying moves. With Luke Harper flying over the top rope. He ended a high spot from the top as well. They're trying to show the young guys that the old guys can still kind of fly too, especially Kane, who's been in the business for over 20 years. Well, Kane's character's been around for 20 years. But a guy who played Kane, who plays Kane, Glenn Jacobs, has been in it longer, especially with Isaac Yankem DDS. I think it was, they said it was Kane's 18th Survivor Series appearance. Tying him with his brother, The Undertaker, which, spoiler alert, he did not appear tonight. We thought he was going to get involved tonight, but he didn't. He appeared on SmackDown. We thought he may tease a Survivor Series appearance, but there was no Taker appearance. So that's spoiler alert right off the bat. No Taker. There were some rumors. So, and we saw it was like a brawl a little bit. Some big clothesline from Harper. Big nasty lariats. He came in with a chokeslam position. Harper blocked out of it. And as both guys would continue to brawl in and out of the ring, Ken would come back countering the Harper lariat with a clothesline. Countering that clothesline, should I say, with a chokeslam and a 1-2-3 victory for Kane. 2.2. Okay, little brawler match to end the pre-show here. So there you go with that. Now, the main card. I thought the tag team Survivor Series match would open up the card. But instead, we had the women's one. Kick off the pay-per-view with Team Raw. Consisting of the women's champion of Raw, Charlotte, teaming up with Sasha Banks, Bayley, Nia Jax, and Alicia Fox. And then they took on the SmackDown women's team, which consisted of Becky Lynch, Carmella, Naomi, Alexa Bliss, and the supposed team captain, Nikki Bella. But right before the match, as Nikki's music was playing, Nikki Bella was not there. She apparently got attacked. I'm guessing Carmella, but it wasn't really addressed. We addressed it on SmackDown on Tuesday. So if the team kept it out, who was going to replace Nikki Bella? I hope that many people may be thinking like I was. No, not Eva Marie. No! Because we haven't seen Eva Marie in a while. So like, not Eva Marie. No! But then they went for the right kind of move. They replaced the captain with the so-called coach of the team, who keeps quoting songs for Whitney Houston, among others, in a weird little gimmick happening. Natalya would fill the void of Nikki Bella's absence. So, for the women's match, there was some little botching here and there. But for what it was a decent Women's Survivor Series matchup. You know, a fun one. And especially with this being 4 hours, the matches would have been a little long. Especially the traditional Survivor Series matches would go long. Which they mostly did. Especially the 5-on-5 men's match. So, Charlotte would kind of kick off. Well, actually, Alicia Fox Carmella would kick off. Following Carmella coming with the Bronco Buster and the moonwalking moves. But then Alicia Fox would nail the big head scissors finisher and the 1-2-3 victory for her, eliminating Carmella without the appearance of Nikki Bella to feud with. Overall with. Unless she attacked her backstage, which, like I said, it might be addressed later. So then, just like that, Alicia Fox would get eliminated as well by Alexa Bliss coming in and doing the Twisted Bliss splash in the 1-2-3 for her. And she looked great in this match. But a dominant woman was definitely Nia freaking Jax was dominant. And all 3 matches had the same spot. They had a breakdown spot in all 3 of the Survivor Series matches with all 10 participants. Or in the tag team's case, all 20 participants, because you had 5 teams against 5 teams with Brawl. And that's when Nia Jax was squashing everybody, splashing people, and especially destroying Naomi. She just destroyed her with a big slam, big suplex on Naomi. After everyone started flying after that Brawl. With Naomi losing by countout thanks to this attack from Nia Jax. So then, Banks and Charlotte were on the same team, and they didn't get along. Like usual. It's interesting that it happened with them two not getting along, because we didn't get to see Nikki Bella in the match, so we didn't get to see her and Carmella argue. But Sasha and Charlotte argue, at least they didn't brawl in the match like other people did during their matches. And we would have an opportunity with Sasha against Becky and Becky against Charlotte at some points. During matchup, we didn't see enough champ versus champ action though. You know, we should have seen more champ on champ action, but we kind of did for the most part. Maybe a little bit more. So then after Jax eliminated Naomi, SmackDown would get back in the game as Natalya, who avoided a double knee stomp from Sasha Banks when Sasha had both Bliss and Natalya set up for the knee stomp. Only Bliss got the brunt of it because Natalya rolled out of it. So then Natalya's going for a suplex. Then Sasha's going for the bank statement. And then Natalya rolls her up. 1, 2, 3. Sasha Banks was eliminated. There was some interesting shocking eliminations during these Survivor Series matches. And Sasha was probably one of the first shocking eliminations. So then Natalya and Charlotte would brawl, reigniting their feud from earlier this year. They had a great one-on-one match at Goldberg, and then the other matches kind of sucked because of shitty finishes, especially involving Ric Flair and then Dana Brooke, when she was introduced as Charlotte's latchkey after Emma got injured. Still waiting for Emmalina. Anywho, so after Sasha got shocking eliminated, Charlotte would come in, like I said, brawling Natalya even almost getting hooked up in a sharpshooter. But then Charlotte got to the rope and they delivered a big boot to Natalya, eliminating Natalya. So after that, Becky and Bliss would get into a little bit of an argument. They had a little problems. They were opponents, but then they were trying to double suplex Nia Jax. But they got double suplex themselves on Jax. And then Jax got tagged in from Charlotte. But before the suplex on Nia Jax, though, Charlotte and Becky did a little bit of show off. With Becky going for the straight fire moves. The backsport, all that great stuff. Even trying to go for the disarmer a couple times. And then Bliss got eliminated too by Charlotte, trying to say. And there was probably after that suplex to Nia Jax. And Nia Jax went off. She attacked Becky Lynch, leaving her prone to the last participants of Team Raw, which were Bayley and Charlotte. Going against Becky Lynch, the last woman standing for SmackDown. It's basically 2-on-1. 3 of the 4 horsewomen were the final survivors in the match. You know, 3 final participants. That was awesome to have that. It would have been awesome if Sasha was in there too. To have all 4 of the 4 horsewomen as the last 4 survivors fighting to see which team would come out as the winner. So Bayley got in. Going over the flying elbow. Even a jackknife cover. And Becky goes straight fire on Bayley. Trying to go straight fire. Becky's trying to go for the disarmer. And Bayley would counter with the Bayley to belly. And just like that 1-2-3 victory, Team Raw won. Bayley and Charlotte were the last 2 survivors. But then Charlotte was not too pleased that she wasn't the one that got the winning pin. And she then called Bayley the weakest link in the team in the weeks leading up to this match. So she attacked Bayley and Brawl with on the outside, nailing against the barricade, standing tall with Dana Brooke at her side. So we may have a start of a Charlotte-Bayley feud. At least, hey, have Charlotte and Sasha take a break. You know, I love these 2 feuding. I've been banging for these 2 to feud for a long time. On the main roster, for the most part, they've been awesome. But it's time for the other Raw women to finally get a shot to take Charlotte on. Give the Sasha-Charlotte feud a break. You know, some people are growing tired. And I think the Hell in a Cell match was a great way to end the feud for now, despite the weird ending to that match. But now we have a Charlotte-Bayley feud starting. So I'll give this women's match 3.3. Decent Survivor Series match. Bunches here and there. Kind of opened the match a little bit. But overall, decent opener for the main card. With Team Raw ending up being victorious in the first of the 3 Survivor Series matches. Now on to our first of our 2 interpromotional title matches. For the Intercontinental Championship, Sami Zayn from Raw against Miz from SmackDown, who won the title back from Dolph Ziggler last Tuesday. Unfortunately, depriving us of seeing an Ultimate Dream match, Zayn against Ziggler, which would have been a whole lot better. Like, wrestling-wise, it would have been better sense for these 2 to tear the house down. And it would have it would have been really better, especially seeing how the rest of the card went. And especially the way this match did go with Miz and Ziggler. Going on Tuesday, Miz winning and now being Miz and Zayn, who's faced off before. And there was the hometown advantage for Sami Zayn, his home country. He's from Montreal, Canada, taking on Miz. And for the most part, despite the fact we should have had Ziggler Zayn instead, for this part of the match, kind of lived up to what I expected, just okay. With, like I said, Ziggler and Zayn would have been a whole lot better. Better action, because these 2 would go off each other well. and not Zayn having to carry the match because Miz is not as good of a worker. You know, and he showed it. Did okay moves. You know, coming with big splashes. And even at one point, had to figure 4 in on Sami Zayn, especially weakening that leg. Targeting the leg big time to set up the figure 4. And then Zayn would counter it. And then later on, Zayn would try to do the figure 4 himself. But I think he forgot how to do it. Or doesn't do the figure 4 enough because if he clearly showed Miz was trying to help Zayn. He told Zayn what foot to hook to connect it right. That was a weird moment there. Love Zayn, but he still has a learn sometimes from that. So then after the first figure 4 attempt, which Zayn went first, then Zayn would come in with big moves, despite the knee being counted. He went for the boot on the bomb, did a Michinoku driver, even tried the Luva kick twice. But his knee would give out both times. And it's emptying the Haluva kick. Well, first his leg gave out, then Miz ducked it. So then, like I said, the figure 4 exchange would end with Zayn putting the figure 4 on Miz. And then the ending. As Miz was almost about to tap out to the figure 4, making Zayn bring the IC Championship to the wall, the bell won by Maurice. This is life getting involved yet again. The match wasn't officially over though, because it wasn't official decision, but that destruction of Maurice winning the belt with Zayn thinking he won was all enough for Miz to capitalize on it, rolled up Zayn, 1, 2, 3 victory, and the Toronto Screwjob, Miz retains the IC Championship. I will deduct a couple points for the shitty ending, screwy ending, 2.8. You know, decent matchup, should have been a lot better if Ziggler was involved, but now we know why Ziggler lost on Tuesday and why Miz was a champion. Because Miz would retain over Zayn. And once again, Zayn gets buried again. That's another thing. Zayn loses again. The continuing misuse of Sami Zayn. And he got screwed as well. So there you go. And of course, the other championship match would end a little bit screwy as well. I'll get to that in a minute. And now on to our next Survivor Series match. Next traditional Survivor Series elimination matchup. The tag teams facing off against each other. We would have Team Walk consisting of the WWE World Tag Team Champions of the world. The New Day, specifically Biggie and Kofi, with Xavier on the outside. Also with them, Enzo and Cass, The Club, Shining Stars for some reason, and Cesaro and Sheamus, the Odd Couple team. On Team SmackDown, you would have the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Heath Slater, and a newly cleanly shaved Wino. Wow, he looks weird without his facial hair. Holy shit. He looks like 30 years younger without his facial hair. Wow. They would team up with the Hype Bros, the Usos, American Alpha, and Breezango. Happy to see them involved, especially the Fashion Police gimmick. But then their burial continued. They were the first eliminated in like 10 seconds. Their first elimination of the tag team elimination match was about as long as our main event tonight. Anyway, after the quick elimination of Breezango, the burial continued, making us thank God Ascension and Vaughn Villains weren't in the match, because if they were, they would have been the first eliminated as well in 10 seconds. But just as quickly as Breezango went out after New Day took him out with the Midnight Special, the New Day got eliminated! With the Usos super kicking the hell out of Kofi Kingston and pinning Kofi to eliminate the New Day. So we're already down one team from each. Because if one member of the team got pinned, the entire team is out. So we're 4-on-4 with the World Tag Team Champs and their team captains being eliminated from the get-go. Unbelievable. The MVPs of this match were definitely American Alpha and the Club. Club looked really good from the start after the New Day got eliminated, decimating the Hype Bros despite some early offenses from both Mojo and Zack Ryder. Wearing a nice old school Survivor Series trunk with his name, Zack Ryder Series. He would get over by the Club, ending up getting the Magic Killer, and it would be 3 teams to form in Raw's favor after the Club eliminated the Hype Bros. Soon after that, American Alpha would come in with some big moves. Gamble got tagged in, looking good. And then it broke down with a lot of high flying. That would come in after Shams would come in from attack from Gallows, taking down the Shining Stars. Even Shining Stars looked decent despite not getting over as such, getting crickets when they came out. There's where they double teaming. Until American Alpha, with the help of Chad Gable, would eliminate the Shining Stars with a great double team move. An Avalanche Bulldog with Primo on top of Jordan, with able to eliminate a big Bulldog from the top. That was a great double team finish to eliminate the Shining Stars. Now even again, 3 teams to 3. But then everyone would start flying. There was like a great spot with like they were all brawling. Then Jason Jordan, wow, that was awesome. He splashed on everybody from the top. And, like there was people flying like crazy. Big ass was going. He was a big boots. And Slater did a big move up the top. A lot of people were cheering for Slater. And despite American Alpha looking good, the Club was looking as good as American Alpha, taking him out with the Magic Killer, where the Club eliminated 2 teams. Eliminated Hype Bros and eliminated American Alpha. But then, after that, Sheamus would come in with some big moves to Slater. It was Sheamus refusing to tag anybody, especially Cesaro. And as he was pumping Slater, he had like the He's Got Kids chance. Then Gallows got in, beating the crap out of Slater until a little miscalculation. Gallows went off the rope and knocked Enzo off. And with that distraction, Gallows would get gored by Rhino, and the Club would be eliminated despite a great showing from them. Looking really good, eliminating 2 teams. Still something to be proud of for them. So then we went down 2 teams to 3. The Usos and Slater and Rhino. Actually, yeah, 2 and 2 actually. Because it was Slater and Rhino, Usos, and Enzo and Cass were the last team standing. So 2-on-1. Almost identical to the women's one. Ending with 2-on-1. So then, Enzo and Cass would come in, since they were one of the last teams standing. Besides them and Cesaro and Sheamus, they were the last 2 standing for Raw. So it's 2-on-2. Then despite Big Ass was a big move, knocking Slater off the top and Enzo ready to fly, wearing his Drake gear in corners of Toronto, rappers and artists, including wearing Starboy on his trunks for the weekend. And with Enzo and Cass double teaming, they would eliminate Heath and Rhino until Super Kicks from Usos eliminating Enzo and Cass. So it come down to the Usos and Cesaro and Sheamus, the odd couple, is the last 2 teams. It was a great showing, the last 2 showing with Cesaro was another MVP in this match. He single-handedly got Raw back in the game after Enzo and Cass got eliminated with Uppercut City, even doing the swing at one point, and going for the sharpshooter a couple times. Despite Cesaro and Sheamus' problems they still have, they gotta get the job done. Sheamus gets some brawling done, preventing anyone from interfering in Cesaro's sharpshooter. Despite Usos getting some close calls as well, some kicks, some splashes, even going for the old Tequila Sunrise finisher, taking off from Conan. The submission of Cesaro would be the big thing. The sharpshooter. The other Usos trying to break it, but he got both kicked, causing the Usos the sharpshooter tap out. T-War wins again with Cesaro and Sheamus, despite disagreeing again, being the sole survivors, giving him more momentum than ever. Great showing on Hell in a Cell despite losing by DQ, by giving him another opportunity against New Day for the tag team titles. And they will get another opportunity against New Day. As far in the match, Mick Foley said that the odd couple team of Cesaro and Sheamus would challenge New Day again for the tag team titles on Raw tomorrow night from Toronto. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that fares out. I'll give this Survivor Series match a 3.5 for being the second best Survivor Series match of the night, besides the last one being the best. So now on to our second interpromotional title match with DAIVARI and Kendrick, not just defending the Cruiserweight title, but defending the entire division from going to SmackDown against Kalisto. And the match was, the first half was slow down because the crowd wants to be in these Cruiserweight matches, but the Cruiserweight matches need to go at a faster pace. Rest of the matches they had at the CWC. Take chances, make mistakes, get whiskey. But they're watering down the division and forcing them to go at a slower pace, which unfortunately got the crowd dead with a slower pace, especially delivered by Brian Kendrick, the slower, methodical style. Now, it's not the style that many people attach with the Cruiserweight. That's why it got kind of dead throughout the first half of the matchup. Then Kalisto, who had an offensive fury in the first half, like the first couple minutes, still Kendrick would come in with a slow pacing, especially numerous attempts at the bully choke. Would come in again with big moves, fly off the top rope a couple times, some big kicks, and of course, he did do the Selena Del Sol, but Brian Kendrick was really close to the ropes. And unfortunately, that change didn't happen for that moment. And Brian would try to go for the bullet choke again. And even also try to do sliced bread, number 2. And also Kalisto did some big cartwheel driver move. Also did more hurricanranas and just some very, very fast pace. It got really good through the second half. And then the ending. With Kalisto on fire. He's going for a big move. Then out of nowhere, Baron Corbin, who was supposed to be in the Survivor Series 5-on-5, who ended up being replaced by Shane McMahon. Unfortunate unfinished business with Kalisto. He would come in, screwing Kalisto. Not only screwing Kalisto the Cruiserweight title, but also screwing the Cruiserweights from going to SmackDown and being used better than on Raw. So, there you go. This is why the Cruiserweight need to be on Raw. That's SmackDown, should I say. So Kalisto can wrestle with little guys and not have to beat up by Corbin like he has been for the last couple of months. After Kalisto took him out with a fake injury. So Baron recovered fast for that injury, huh? So this match deducted a lot of points. 2.5. The first half kind of slow. Second half got fast until the ending with Baron Corbin. So not only did both interpromotional honor matches end up ending screwy, they didn't change hands. They both stand on their respective brands. That was the only one of the night. So now, man, this pay-per-view review is going to get lengthy. Because it was a 4-hour pay-per-view, a lot of shit happened. Especially during our next match. The match of the night. Our 5-on-5 Survivor Series match. 5 men against 5 men from both brands. We would have Team Raw consisting of the team captains. Kevin Owens, the Universal Champion, and his bestie, Chris Jericho had a funny segment with Tom Phillips on the pre-show involving The List. They would team up again with Seth Rollins, Braun Strowman, and getting his ass moved out the building like usual, the United States Champion, Roman Reigns. The Team SmackDown would consist of AJ Styles, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Dean Ambrose's rival, and TLC opponent, along with the Wyatts, Bray Wyatt, and his new member, Randy Orton, and Shane McMahon, replacing Baron Corbin, being accompanied by the mascot, James Ellsworth. This was just phenomenal. It was the longest match of the night, 52 minutes, almost an hour, to start about 9. It's like, dang, it's a 4-hour pay-per-view. One match has got to go a long time, and this one did. And it was a fucking phenomenal Survivor Series match. Probably as good as the last good traditional Survivor Series match 2 years ago with Team Cena against Team Authority, despite the storyline not panning out well. There were so many great spots. Braun Strowman looked like a beast tonight, despite taking some big spots, especially Shane McMahon going off the top rope, delivering the elbow on the Strowman, breaking the announce table. Holy shit moment. And that was after Braun Strowman got to eliminate Dean Ambrose thanks to AJ Styles, whose animosity towards Ambrose did not die. They would eventually brawl a little bit, and Shane tried to break it up, but that was a distraction for Braun Strowman to capitalize. AJ did not help, and Shane was not happy about Dean Ambrose being the first eliminated for Team SmackDown. And then it would lead to Shane McMahon going off the top rope and delivering that big elbow, breaking the table on the Strowman, and also getting RKO'd by Randy Orton on that table too. Didn't break. And now set up for the Shane Splash. But Braun Strowman would not get back in from the count, getting counted out. But he was grabbed by a hand underneath the ring. That was James Ellsworth. He poetically eliminated Braun Strowman by preventing him from getting back in the ring after AJ tossed back in Shane. So Braun was not happy. Chased Ellsworth up to the top of the entrance stage and choke slammed his ass off the stage to a table of electrical equipment on the side of the stage. So Braun looked strong. I was questioning him being on the team, but he didn't look good. Despite that, in getting eliminated by a count out. At least he got protected. Same with Owens getting protected. Owens and AJ would brawl. You know, the champions would brawl a little bit. With a cannonball from Owens, Zayn, former enemy, would come in with that. And AJ would come as a big Pele, and of course it broke down. Big flying moves from everybody. And of course, a lot relying on Jericho got cheered out of the building. And he kind of teamed up pretty well with Rollins, who would come in with some big moves as well. With the Falcon Arrow on AJ. So with all of that, despite the advantage from KO and Jericho to be the besties, they would get kind of eliminated in succession. With Jericho in trouble, Owens would grab the list of Jericho, nearly Randy Orton with it, nearly Shane with it. He wasn't legal at the time. Jericho was legal. But KO got DQ'd. Jericho was not happy. Despite his best friend, he is his best friend, but Owens ruined the list. The list of Jericho. He got gun turned on KO, and he got eliminated. Leaving Shane, AJ, and Wyatt and Orton against the Shield members, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. 4-on-2. The Shield would come in with some big moves, especially one nasty. There was a lot of nasty spots, especially one of the nasty spots tonight. Besides Shane doing, I think Shane did do the coast to coast tonight too, or at least attempted the coast to coast. And that's when one of the nasty spots happened. He was going for the coast to coast. Onto Seth Rollins. As he was going for it, he was caught in midair with a spear from Roman Reigns. And Shane's elbow went up, but he was legitimately knocked the fuck out from that spear from Roman Reigns. So, with his discretion, Shane was eliminated. After getting legitimately knocked out from that spear from Roman Reigns. Took a big hit from that spear. So it was down to AJ and the Wyatts. 3-on-2. So as AJ got in as the champ that was the camp. Coming in. Big Panther even going for the cap kill at one point. All of a sudden, Dean Ambrose would come out of nowhere, attacking AJ Styles again. Getting mad at AJ for screwing him and getting him eliminated. Early on, security got involved. And I thought to myself, it was kind of sad when you saw Dean eliminated so early. We didn't get to see him and the other members of the Shield getting interactive with each other. Rollins and Reigns. But that was all made up when Ambrose did come out. And security was holding him back. And then all of a sudden, Rollins and Reigns started punching security. They were teasing a double powerbomb onto AJ. But then with Ambrose coming in, the Shield reunited. For one shiny moment, all 3 members of the Shield got together and triple powerbomb AJ Styles through the Spanish announce table, ending up eliminating AJ Styles, leaving the Wyatts. Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton left to take on the Shield, kind of reminiscent of the Wyatt Shield feud from back in the day. But Reigns and Rollins were both surrounded with the arrival of Luke Harper on the outside. And the new Wyatt family would capitalize on that by pummeling Rollins and Reigns. With Reigns and Orton were brawling a little bit. Reigns said he wanted against the post. Leaving Bray and Rollins in the ring with Rollins doing some big moves on Bray, including the sling blade. And a big plunger under Harper, taking him out. And even super kicking out of Bray, going for a frog splash. But then, one of the sickest RKOs from Orton in a while, as he RKO'd Rollins in the midair, kind of reenacting the RKO in midair from WrestleMania 31 from last year. That was one of the best RKOs in midair Orton ever did. This is the second best midair RKO he ever did. On Rollins, yet again. Kind of like WrestleMania 32. 31, should I say. 31. And Rollins was eliminated just like that, with Bray capitalizing on Orton's RKO in midair, leaving Reigns as the last member of Team Raw. We've seen Reigns go 4-against-1 and win back in 2013, which was the beginning of the Reigns push, slowly but surely. Then they got really shoved down the throats and gets booed like he did tonight in Toronto. So the numbers stacked against him again. Reigns will try to overpower him, delivering the spear and Superman punch attempts under both Bray and Orton. And I was like, don't let Reigns win for Raw. He would get booed out the building if he were to win the Raw. So then, after delivering Superman punch on Bray, he was setting up the spear. Orton sacrificed himself. He got speared. And then Bray got Reigns and the sister Abigail, connected it. 1, 2, 3. SmackDown wins. Not just the fact SmackDown won, but Bray Wyatt was one of the sole survivors. That was awesome in itself. But also Randy Orton was a sole survivor. Fun fact. The last time we had a Raw vs. SmackDown traditional Survivor Series match, that was back in 2005. Team SmackDown won. And guess who was the sole survivor of that match? Randy Orton. Although we didn't have an ending like that with Undertaker coming out. As I mentioned, no Taker. So why wins a big match, being the last sole survivor with Randy Orton? That would have been also way to end the pay-per-view. That should have been the main event. And that would have been a great way to end it, with Bray Wyatt going up on top instead of a part-timer main eventing a pay-per-view again. So with that, 4.5 for this epic Survivor Series match. Fun match, great spots, Shield reuniting, Shane Man delivers the elbow to Strowman through a table, the kill KO to Rollins, the Spirit Midair knocking Shane out legitimately. So fun Survivor Series match. Now on to the match that'll be heavily discussed for quite a while. The so-called Fantasy Warfare match between Goldberg, Brock Lesnar, the rematch that nobody thought they ever wanted from WrestleMania 20. Now, despite the fact the first match sucked, and knowing Lesnar's history at Big Four pay-per-views, especially after main eventing the last Big Four pay-per-view and sucked, we had our trepidations about this being the main event. With Lesnar sucking another Big Four pay-per-view down the hole after such a great pay-per-view. So we had all the build-up. Goldberg returning. And all this hype built up for this matchup. The crowd was popped for both guys. And what happened for all that hype? 2 minutes. 2-minute match. Goldberg would spear Lesnar twice. No offense from Lesnar once forever. Never got his footing. And after the second spear, jackhammer, 1, 2, 3. Goldberg wins, squashes Brock Lesnar. 2 years of Lesnar being built like a monster may have just gone down the drain. Now, there's so many arguments about this match. There'll be a lot of discussion about the way this match went. Goldberg being gone for 12 years. Yeah, good way to end it. Like some say, at least we had a good ending for once on a Big Four pay-per-view with a good guy winning. So maybe thought Lesnar would win because of storyline continuation with him being more of he's a part-timer but a full-time part-timer. And in fact, he never beat Goldberg. So I wanted Goldberg to win, but I thought Lesnar would win. Second straight WWE event with a shocking ending, with Joe winning over Nakamura and NXT TakeOver, and Goldberg beating Lesnar. And a squasher, old school Goldberg squasher. And with 35 minutes, almost 45 minutes to spare, thinking WWE should never have a 4-hour Survivor Series again, because it ended so early. But I think we'd rather see that than having the pay-per-view go over, ending at 10:25 instead of 11:25. So, I hate Lesnar as much as the next guy. I made fun of him at SummerSlam for having a shitty-ass main event against Randy Orton. But man, I expected to lose him like this. Done with his gimmick, done with his shtick, but wow. It's tough. Like, I don't know what I'm feeling. I didn't think this match would happen at all. It's kind of cool to see Goldberg winning, but, it should have been at least a battle. I think it should have been at least 10 minutes. Let it be at least the battle that they were hyping it to be. A back and forth battle, a brawl. Maybe get Lesnar some offense in. But as to why we think the match was so short, here are my 5 theories of why the match was so short. 1, Goldberg hasn't wrestled in 12 years. And even though he trained a lot for this match, his body wasn't probably ready for a 10 to 15 minute match. So that's one theory why the match was so short. 2, Goldberg tweaked his shoulder on Monday during his segment against Lesnar. So maybe they had it short so he won't injure the shoulder a lot more. And, well, actually I have 3 theories about why the match was so short. But the biggest theory, Shane McMahon was not going to get involved. Now, there was a lot of speculation that Shane McMahon would get involved in the match because of getting fined by Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam when he tried to get Lesnar off of Randy Orton, probably signaling a possible feud between these two, maybe leading up to a Mania match. But after Shane McMahon got legitimately knocked out in the Survivor Series match, he was not able to get involved. So maybe that's another theory about why the match was so short, because Shane McMahon was unable to get involved. So that's 3 theories why I think the match was so short. Because they didn't want to... well, actually 4 theories. The 4th theory being they didn't want to bore the crowd again with a shitty Lesnar main event. So that's the theories about why I think the match was so short. Goldberg hasn't wrestled a full match in 12 years and wasn't ready for a 15-minute match. Goldberg got injured on Monday with his shoulder. The fact that they didn't want to bore the crowd with another shitty Lesnar main event. And also another theory, it was short because Shane McMahon was unable to get physically involved with Lesnar in screwing him in this match. I don't know what to rate this match. 1 point. Okay, let's give it 2.0. Just because it was fucking shorts. You know, it's kind of another good yet way to end a pay-per-view. Like, it was cool to see Goldberg win, especially celebrate with his son. If it's not going to lead to anything else, like Goldberg wants to wrestle more matches, if this was just a one-off deal, just let him just squash Lesnar in a minute and a half to end a big full pay-per-view, why let him come back in the first place if he wasn't going to wrestle more than one match? You know, it's cool to see him and all. Great to see him come back. But all that hype for 2 minutes. Especially for those fans in Toronto who paid a lot of money for that pay-per-view. If I was saying to themselves, wow, at least the NXT main event was 10 times longer than the main event tonight. Now, so there's going to be a lot of debate, a lot of anger over how well the main event was. And if, you know, people say about, oh, Lesnar's build for the last 2 years of being a dominant beast since the streak ended tonight. You know, even if people hate Lesnar's gimmick, it was still a weird way to go. You know, a guy who didn't lose the Ambrose or Tinker loses in a minute to Goldberg. A guy who hasn't wrestled in 12 years. Another theory why the Survivor Series, like once again, for the second straight Big 4 pay-per-view, the long match main evented. And once again, that main event involved Lesnar. Whether he win or not, it was another shitty Lesnar main event. What image would we have seen? Bray Wyatt finally win a big match in Survivor Series, especially losing last year against Kane and Taker, or Goldberg winning, ending it. I think Goldberg should have been the second to last match, then the main event should have been the 5-on-5. So there's going to be a lot of continuous debate about this in the weeks to come. That means Raw is going to be really interesting. With Raw dominated until the 5-on-5 men's match. And boom. Brock Lesnar losing to Goldberg. See how he's going to answer that. So with all that being said, you've been attacked by the review from Zach. I didn't say rating for this pay-per-view in the beginning. I forgot to do that in the beginning of the video. But I'm going to give a rating. 6.5. So I rated that because there's only 3 really good matches on the card. The 2 title matches ended shitty. And of course, the main event, what can I say? So 6.5 for this pay-per-view. So with that being said, you've been attacked by the review from Zach. Thank you so much for watching. See you later. Bye-bye.